Today we continue with our class Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, and the topic is powerful words. Okay, so let's say the power of speech is a great tool with which man can build heavens and earth, as it is written, and I have placed my words in your mouth to implant the heavens and to set base on earth. Where it says it's Yeshayahu 51:16. Okay, so that's the power every Jew has to follow HaShem and to build the worlds. How do we build the worlds, right? And literally, whatever our actions, whatever we do here in the world, in this world, affect the decision up in Shemayim, in heaven. The prophet speaks in the most literal sense, for through the sacred words of the Torah study and prayer that the Jew utters on this earth, exalted words and angels are created above. So as we just mentioned, right? So even angels, defending angels, right? Every mitzvah is a separate angel. So and every letter that we say in the Torah is actually separate mitzvah. One letter is a separate. Some people say two letters because of the Hebrew roots. Some of them have two letters, but okay, doesn't matter. A lot. Okay. With regard to the latter, the Mishnah states, "He who fulfills even single mitzvah gains himself and single advocate." Right? It's where it says Perkei 4:13. By advocate, in double quotes, the Mishnah means that these angels will intercede on a person's behalf before the heavenly throne. So even while a person is alive, that does not mean only during the judgment day. Even when a person is alive, so his angels, his advocates are going in front of the court, and they argue his case. Okay. Continue. The level of sanctity of this world, of these worlds and angels, is contingent upon two factors: the spiritual readiness of the person at the time performed the mitzvah, and the quality of the medium through which the mitzvah was performed. Okay, so let's see what does it mean. So let's read it one more time and we try to understand. So it said the level of sanctity of these worlds, right? So upper worlds of the angels and angels is contingent upon two factors. Okay, so even though just because we did the mitzvah does not mean the angel was created, does not mean that the world was created. Okay, it's not so simple, right? What are the factors? The spiritual readiness of the person at the time to perform the mitzvah. Okay, so how he was ready, she was ready at the time we performed the mitzvah. Okay, let's continue reading. And the quality of the medium through which the mitzvah was performed. Okay, a person who avoids Lashon Hara and utilizes his power of speech in a positive way is forever enhancing the spiritual power of his words. Right. So as we spoke before, if you have good tools, clean tools, you'll be able to do a lot of good, right? But if a surgeon, for example, has a contaminated dirty, not contaminated, like dirty tools, like they did not wash it very well, right? They steam it, whatever they do, sanitize it, well, whatever they do is a tool they did not do, so he's going to kill person, even though he did all of the procedure correctly. But because of the tool was not clean, he's going to kill the person. Right. So the same is the power of our speech. If a person speaks Lashon Hara and then with the same mouth, with the same tongue, is trying to build the spiritual world, it's not going to work out so well. Thus, the Torah study and prayer, which enhance emanate from his lips, I endowed with exalted spiritual light, right? When you do it with a pure mouth. Conversely, if person defile his mouth with the words of gossip, mockery, falsehood, and the like, So one more time, gossip, mockery. Yeah, everything should be fine. Some people like they always like. I'm not talking about girls like a teenager girl. That's understand. But like adult guys, like adults, like 50, 60 years old, they need to giggle. It's like you're always beyond you normal, like like empty people. Falsehood, right? We have to stay away from whole falsehood and the like. With what sort of sanctity can this word of study of prayer be endowed? He is a craftsman who has severely damaged his indispensable tool, as we said before, right? So what can you do with this? Especially when tools that must be very precise, right? What can you do with these tools? His only recourse is to mend his ways and refine the power of speech. So his only course is to fix these tools. Tools is what his ears or her mouth, and to refine the power of speech. And that's what we're trying to work on every day, right? And even sometimes maybe we won't talk bad about that person, but when we understand the consequences, we say it's not worth it. Okay, stop here. Okay, we continue with 1 second. Okay, so very interesting. So we started new topic. It's CF number 49, and and the topic is saying the blessing Hatov Hametiv on wine. Okay. Okay, so let's so we're on CF number 2. So it says so before we continue, let's see what we said last time. So last time we were given the definition of the wine was considered to be wine, and even grape juice is also considered to be wine, and even that some people would say it's vinegar, but it's still tastes like wine. It's not tastes like vinegar, so it's still considered to be wine, right? And one of the things we say, even it smells like vinegar but tastes like wine. So we go by the taste, not what the smell is. But if it becomes sour, of course, it's no longer wine, right? It's vinegar. Okay, so sour to the point that most people are not going to drink it. So there are sour wines like dry wine and stuff, right? Sour. I'm not sure if vinegar is more sour than wine. I never tasted vinegar by itself, but okay, very interesting. Okay, so on vinegar, if somebody wants to drink vinegar for whatever reason or needs to drink vinegar, whatever the situation is, so we would say shechakol. So even though it's based 100% on wine, since it is spoiled wine, it changes the blessing. Okay. Continue. Okay, so continue CF number 2. So Hatov Hametiv, it means who is good and does good. Okay, so that's the definition of blessing. CF number 2. After the juice has been extracted from the grapes seed may undergo the additional soaking process to produce one like wine like beverage. This sieve discussed the halacha of this beverage regarding the blessing of Berecha Geffen. So it's very interesting. So one thing, I mean, everybody understands how to make wine. You press the grapes, you extract the juice, you do the wine. Okay, they then with leftover they still can extract more juice, but it's like lower quality, but still it's going to be considered wine, right? From okay, but now we're talking about the seeds from the seeds. Of course, we know that they do a grapeseed oil, right? But they also can do wine. So let's see. Regarding grapeseed seeds, from which one was extracted only through threading, okay, but they were never crushed under the beam of the wine press, So trading means that in olden days they literally would step on wine, and that's how they would press. But there is of course the wine press, right? The wooden beam, like it was like press. Um, that's a different story. So it's already lower quality of wine. So number 9 commentary. There is the process through which the juice was extracted was trading by foot, exactly as we said, not pressing in a wine press. But that's the first step. The trading process does not force out the moisture from the seed as does pressing. So press, it means like real pressure. When we just step, of course you're not going to crush the seeds of the grapes. Okay, so continue. If water was poured into them and allowed to steep, the resultant beverage considered wine. So they crush the grape seeds and they like soak them in the water. So this beverage is going to be wine, even though like the grape seeds after the whole moisture from the grapes itself is removed. Even if the conclusion of the process they did not find liquid than more liquid than they added, or even if they found less than they added, very interesting. Nevertheless, if they drink tasteless if they drink taste like wine, one recite the blessing Beverage. Okay, so let's do this again. So we have only grape seeds, right? And they soak them in water, and after they soak, let's say they remember the level of water. So and level of the water did not increase. But I would say how would they expect it to increase? There is no moisture inside of this seeds. Okay. Or even they say even if the level decreased. So let's say the commentary. In either scenario, since they found no additional liquid, it could be taken as an indication that no juice or very little was extracted from the grapes. So okay, no juice for sure, or very little, so you cannot see it with the naked eyes. Okay. Nevertheless, if drink tastes like wine, so how is it possible? And Mishnah Berurah says even tastes and smells like wine. So from these pits, one recite upon it the blessing Beverage. Okay, how strong this taste of wine is going to be, we don't know, but it tastes like wine. Number 12 commentary. Even if no additional liquid was found, we may assume that the juice that was in a grape seed came out. Okay. And the water was absorbed in its place. Okay, so very interesting. It's Aruch. So our sages knew that the juice from like inside of the grape pits are going to come out, and the water is going to replace the juice. Very interesting. However, if the drink contains 6 parts of water to 1 part of the grape seeds, it cannot be considered wine, regardless of the taste. They're going to explain. I'm not sure if they're going to explain some, but in olden days when the wine was very strong, so it says you have to take, I think, 5 measures of water and 1 measure of wine because it was very strong. Otherwise, it was undrinkable. So that's so meaning if you add too much water to wine, it looks like a little like wine, and it smells like wine, but halakhically it's considered to be water. Okay. So that's what they do. For example, you have a grape drink, right? It does not say grape juice, like they have grape drink. And even though it would say that it's actually grape juice in there, but it's in such a small quantity, even though the taste is still of grape, so we say shechakol on that drink. Okay. Continue. However, if the first extraction in the first extraction process the grape seeds were crushed under the beam of the wine press, and then the water was poured onto them, or in a case where the water was poured onto the wine lees, the resultant beverages is only like water, and shechakol is recited upon the drinking it. Okay, so here it's they skip one more process. Initially it says that first we step on a grain, or on the grapes, right, and then we use the press. But here they use the pressed right away. So let's see. However, if once again the same with commentary, and we're going to explain. However, if the first extraction process of the grape seeds were crushed under the beam of the wine press, commentary, the weight of the beam forces out almost all of the moisture in the grapes. Mishnah Brura. So it's obvious one thing when you just step on that, you just force the juice out. But when you separate, the grapes remain from the seed, and then now you work with the seeds, so that's a different story. So all of the moisture, whatever moisture was inside, it's still inside of the seeds. It's according to the first part. Here they do everything with the press. So after they did the press and crush all of the seeds, and now they trying to do and they add the water. So that's it. There is no point, right? There is no moisture inside, and then the water was poured onto them. Or in a case when the water was poured onto the lees as a sediment that is formed when the alcoholic beverage is fermented. So that's sediment. So in olden days, so they had lees. So you buy this, you have this sediment, right? You buy wine, and you see on the bottom it's they have this lees. So today, maybe, I don't know, this organic, very expensive wines maybe have. Now they all filter to the extent there is no sediment. Is it good or bad? I don't know. Okay, at least looks much better. Okay, the resultant beverage is only water, since the all moisture was extracted in the first round, right? And shechakol is recited upon drinking it. Commentary: the shechakol blessing recited for water for most beverages. Okay, we said that. Continue. Number 3. Regarding wine that it was mixed with water. So now we're going all of this variation. What is considered to be wine? What is not considered to be wine? Right. Regarding they used to sell this lees also. Right. This sediment they sell, and people who were working with the sediment also. They were trying not to waste anything. Very interesting. Regarding wine that was mixed with water, of the ratio of wine to water in the mixture is only 1 part, 1 to 6 parts or more water. So as we said, it's too much water, even according to today's strong wine. The wine is definitely nullified in the mixture. So 1 to 6 is definitely nullified. So commentary: even if the taste of wine is discernible in the mixture. Right. So if you pour seltzer, right, in the wine, so there is some wine remain, and right in your glass you put seltzer. So let's say some leftover wine, and you already say the blessing after that, and then you notice that there is some wine left, right? You put seltzer, so it's going to be shechakol. I mean, if it's over the ratio. But here with our wine, you don't need 1 to 6. Even if you pour half of the, maybe on a double ratio of wine, so for sure it's going to be nullified. even though of course it's going to have the color, not as strong, and it's going to have a smell and taste of a little wine, but it's not wine. Okay, but in those days, 1 to 6. Okay. Definitely no final mixture. Continue. And it is considered only like water. Okay. If there is more, you cannot always say by the taste and by the smell that it is wine. So you also need to know what went into it. If there is more than this percentage of wine in the mixture, meaning less ratio 1 to 6, then it is common for people of that place to dilute it that much and to drink it in a place of wine. He recite the blessing Beverage Geffen. Okay, after drinking, and Allah Geffen after drinking. Okay, so let's read the commentary and we're going to explain. In order for Beverage Geffen to be recited, it must be taste and smell like wine, of course. So here's a very practical thing. Whatever we do on Pesach, right? So many people they don't want to drink strong wine on Pesach, especially when somebody is a firstborn, right? So if somebody is a firstborn male, so is it we have a custom to fast. So if you fast all day and Pesach, as we explained yesterday, sometimes it starts very late, maybe 8 p.m. or whatever is it. So if you fasted the whole day and you were working and preparing for Pesach, now you're going to drink one cup of wine without food. So remember, first we do without food, right? So you're going to get drunk. So that's not good, and so as other people. So it's not good. You have to listen to Haggadah, you have to participate and stuff like that, right? So what do you do? So, there are two solutions. You can buy a very weak wine, and I don't remember what was the name. Kedem makes it. It's like 4.5%, right? 4.5% of alcohol. It's almost like juice. Grape juice, but it's considered to be wine and very light. So you can do that, or you can dilute your wine, but don't dilute with water. I mean, if you have very strong wine, 10% or something, 12%, it's very strong. So it's better for you to dilute with a grape juice. You can do grape juice and little water. Okay, so in order to be called wine. Okay. So 1 second. So, but it has to have a taste of wine and smell of wine, as we said. So only then you can say Beverage Geffen and say the blessing if you drank enough for a proper amount of time. So you can say Allah Geffen. Allah Geffen, it's this long blessing, right? Okay, continue. However, if they do not drink this diluted mixture in the place of wine, one's intention is considered it as such is insignificant, and Shihakol is recited. So one point is very interesting. So we also take into consideration the custom of that place, right? So even though maybe your custom is different, but we don't go by your personal custom, your personal preference. If they in that place they drink such a light wine, so yeah. So and you diluted your strong one, so you can still have say Beverage Geffen, no problem. But if they don't drink this one, they drink I don't know, maybe I don't know what is it in France or in Italy, if there is still juice left there, right? So they still they drink only strong wine, they are accustomed. So your light wine, your 4.5%, is not going to work so well. You understand? Continue. Number 4. Any questions on what we said before we continue? Okay, so we continue then. Number 4. Just as with bread, if one establish his meal around it, the blessing one recite on it exempt all types of food from requirement to recite the separate Brocha Rishona, first blessing, and Brocha Achrona. So too with wine. If one drinks wine in a set manner, The blessing recited before and after drinking the wine exempt the obligation to recite Brocha Rishona and Brocha Achrona upon other beverages. Okay. So let's try to understand. So in some sense, we compare wine with the bread, right? So bread is very important food, the most important food, I would say, and wine is the most important drink that we have, right? So when we say the blessing on wine, but as he said, it has to be established session, and it's very interesting as Shulchan goes and then he said how to establish session. So basically, what is it? So people get together to drink wine. So to drink wine, I don't know, like friends talk, and I don't know, they have nothing else to do. But whatever, that doesn't matter. We don't judge them, but they drink wine, and it's session, meaning it's their meal in some sense, eating session, and they drink in session wine. So meaning it's not like half a cup. So they're going to stay in that place for an extended period of time and drink wine, sip a little wine, or whatever they do with wine, right? And in this situation, the wine is going to cover all of the other beverages, right? So if you want to in the meantime to drink coffee, you want to drink some apple juice or something, so everything is covered. Okay, it's very interesting. So that's established, but it must be established in session. So you sat down to drink wine. Okay. So continue. This is only true if this beverage are standing before him, of course, at the time that he recited the blessing upon wine, or at least he had an intention while he was reciting the blessing on wine to drink those beverages. However, if the drinks were not before him when he recited the blessing on the wine, and he had no intention of drinking them, it is questionable whether he is required to recite blessing upon them or not. So let's read Mishnah Brura commentary, and we're going to explain. So, but before we go, this rule it's actually standard rule for all of the other blessings. So even I don't drink wine, I eat apples, right? So if I have the bowl with the fruits on my table, so I took one fruit, but technically all of the other fruits are also included in my blessing, even if I did not have intention to eat them, unless it is a fruit of the 5 species that the land of Israel is blessed with, right? Meaning what? If I made a blessing on a pear, and there is and I later on I decide to eat apple from this bowl, there is no problem. It was in front of me when I was making blessing on a pear, and the apple is covered, no problem. But grapes are not covered. So unless person had an explicit intention, I like to have apple right now, and later on I'm going to have grapes, even though it's would be proper to start with grapes, but he did not, no problem, it is covered, no problem. But okay, but if the fruits were not in front of him, and he did not have intention to eat, that's the issue. So those are not covered. So exactly the same here. I'm talking about fruits, but it's applied to all of the other foods. Okay, as well. So here they're saying that if the beverages were in front of him, or they usually drink, let's say, coffee, or they drink or also, I don't know, soda when they drink wine, this session, I don't know, like 7 hours session, drinking wine session, right? Okay, so that's what they do. Let's say, so if they usually do it, it's like his intention. If he intended like explicitly, I want to also drink soda, I also want to drink tea, there is no problem, it's all covered. But now we have Kitzur Shulchan said it is questionable if he did not have intention to drink, and if it was not in front of him. Okay, so it does not have to exist. It just so in the sense. So even if he just started making coffee, since he had intention to make coffee, so it is covered. Or tea. So tea was not there. Okay. Continue. Mishnah Brura 173 CF4 cites a number of authorities who maintain that if one drinks wine in a set manner, other beverages would be exempt by the blessing on wine, even if they are not before him, unless they were served after the wine was finished. That's a very interesting point, and we're going to explain. However, because many authorities are of the opinion that nowadays people do not drink wine in a set manner, exactly, he recommends that ideally all of the drinks that are not that are to be extended, exempt by wine, should be before the person when he recites the Beverage blessing. Okay, so let's try to understand what Mishnah Brura says. So Mishnah Brura says, of course, there are many poskim who say. So it's like so they draw parallel wine to bread. So what does it mean? That same when you have a bread meal. Okay, you said I'm going to eat this salad, piece of chicken, rice, and that's it. I'm done, right? But then you change your mind. After you ate all of this, you want to have a piece of fish, this and that. Okay, there is no problem. So even though you had no intention and you plan to eat only this meal and that's it. So all of the other foods, unless they're desserts, they're all covered by bread. So those poskim from the first opinion of the Mishnah Brura, they follow exactly the same approach. So meaning they draw parallel wine and bread, and they say if person established his session of drinking wine, but right, so all of the other beverages are covered. But as the Mishnah Brura later on said, today we don't have it. Like maybe in olden days, people have nothing else to do. I don't know, like maybe after work they were working in the field very long days. Maybe, I don't know, whenever they, or maybe in the winter had nothing else to do. I don't know. So they would have this long drinking session. It's not good, but today, as he said, we don't have that. We don't have, and there are many poskim say no. So whatever was not intended was not in front of him. So the blessing is not going to work. Okay. So that's another difference, I think, between Ashkenazi custom and Sephardic custom, right? If ice cream is considered to be liquid, that is frozen, or it's considered to be solid food, because why do I care about it's frozen? It is like a solid. Like why should I say it's liquid? It's solid food. So if, for example, somebody someone considers it to be liquid, so that's according to most of the Sephardic custom. So they would not say blessing on the ice cream, right? Why? Because first of all, it's part of the meal, and even though you said it's sweet, it's a dessert. Yeah, it's dessert, but I already said the blessing on wine, right, during my kiddush, and it should cover all of the beverages. So if we consider ice cream as a frozen beverage, so it is covered. Doesn't matter. I can eat it as a liquid, as a solid. Doesn't matter, right? I prefer the solid, but it could be liquid. So according to that opinion, you would not say ever the blessing of ice cream. According to Ashkenazi custom, most of the poskim say no, it's solid 100%. Because that's how you prefer to eat it. You not prefer to eat it while it is melted. Usually, I mean, of course, there are different people, different preferences, but majority of the people would prefer to eat the ice cream while it's like a normal form, right? When it's frozen. Okay, so we say it's solid, and that's why Ashkenazi people would say a blessing on ice cream. So that's very relevant to this, what we just said. Continue. Therefore, one should refrain from drinking them until after the reciting Brocha, Achrona for wine. Okay. So Shulchan Aruch says he has, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says he has followed. if you did not intend to drink these beverages, whatever is it, they were not in front of you. For example, somebody just brought them in. So there is one person that was supposed to join you for this drinking session, and he just came half an hour late, and he brought this beer, whatever he brought. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to mix wine with beer. I'm just making an example, right? So if he brought this beverage, of course, we did not know that he's bringing this beverage. Of course, we did not count on that. So in this case, it's like a question of whether or not it is included. So Kitzur Shulchan said, don't drink it. Don't drink it. Finish your wine session. Say blessing after your meal, whatever, right? After not meal, but after drinking wine. And then say, if you want to continue drinking this new beverage, wherever they was brought, so say new blessing. Commentary. This avoids the question regarding the blessing, because after reciting Brocha Achrona, the effectiveness of the original blessing has certainly ceased, and must recite Brocha Rishana upon anything he drinks. I mean, there is no continuation, but it could be another issue. If person just do that to get out of the situation, it could be this. The issue is that he's making himself. The person creates a situation when he's required to make a blessing, and it's also wrong. It's like almost he's reciting the HaShem's name in vain. Also not good. So what to do in this case? So I would say don't drink it at all, or when you make a blessing on before making a wine, so you say out loud, so you hear everybody here. So making this blessing, of course, before the blessing, and it should cover all of the beverage that's going to bring. Whatever I see the beverage, whatever is liquid, and I decided to drink, it should be covered by this blessing. But in this case, it is covered because it's explicit. Okay. Alternatively, or another solution would be let this new person. I'm following my example, who came late, right? So let him make the blessing on new beverage, right? And you ask him to be yotze, right? So he motzi, right? So he should include you in his blessing. Okay, then no problem. You can drink. Alternatively, he should recite shechakol on other food. Okay, that's another solution, right? While also intended to exempt the beverage. Okay, so that's another solution. You say blessing on something else, even on solid food, piece of candy, where we eat, or some people eat cheese while they drink wine. Let's say make a blessing on this cheese, and keep in mind that I also want to cover this beer that this guy just brought. Also works. Commentary. In this case, the Brocha Achrona for the wine will also exempt the other drinks from another Brocha Achrona. Okay, as we said. Continue. No, it was 23. Okay. Continue. Any questions on what we said before we continue? Second, check time. Okay, we have time. Okay, so number 5 then. If one did not drink wine in a set manner, but drank in a casual fashion. So as we said, this set manner, I mean, Shulchan Aruch talks a lot about it. A lot, few pages. Okay. If one did not, so meaning that's what the people did in the olden days. If one did not drink a wine in a set manner, but drank in a casual fashion, and he also had no intention of drinking other beverages, then certainly must recite Bracha Rishana on other beverages that he is subsequently drinks, right? So of course that's what we do when we say Borah Prichagefen, for example, on during the Kiddush, right? On when we say Geffen, so it's proper to have in mind that I want all of the beverage be included. Okay. Right, all of the beverage be included in this under this blessing. So what does it mean? On one hand, the bread covers all of the beverage. Whatever is needed for the meal is covered. On another hand, there is a strong opinion in Shulchan that says if a person finishes his meal, completely finishes the meal, right, and already ready to say Birchas Hamazon, but then decided to drink some coffee. So this coffee or tea, whatever this drink, has nothing, no connection to the meal whatsoever. Right? Let's say they were sitting and talking for another half an hour, right? So it's not for digestion, it's not for satiation, it's for nothing, right? So just for pleasure. So this cup of coffee, according to many poskim, he has to say the separate blessing. There's no connection to the meal. But according to what we just said, if a person had in mind whatever I'm going to drink, all of the drinks, they connected to the meal, not connected to the meal. So whatever I'm going to drink after this wine, they should be covered. So he's covered all the time. So it's proper, the bottom line. Okay, the bottom line. It's proper to have intention when you make a blessing on a Kiddush wine to cover all of the beverages, all of them. Okay. So, and I'm using an example only Shabbos and Yom Tov because it's a longer meal. So even during the week, let's say somebody have a meal, so we had a Purim meal, right? So I mean the Purim meal is much shorter. Okay, I'm not talking about all of the people, but for some people, for many people, it's much shorter than Shabbos meal, right? So you eat like only one dish, whatever you eat. There is no problem, and usually you don't drink that much. So everything is covered, everything is going to be part of the meal. So that's simple, but not so simple when it's longer meal, like on Shabbos. Continue. So let me actually read the sentence from the beginning so we have a continuation. If one did not drink wine in a set manner, but drank in a casual fashion, and he also had no intention of drinking other beverages, then he certainly must recite Bracha Rishana for the other beverages that he subsequently drinks. Okay, so it's very straightforward. Because they were not covered, they were not in front of him, he did not intend to drink them. That's actually halacha for other foods as well. Okay, but we're talking about wine here. However, there is still a question regarding Bracha Achrona for those other beverages, whether they are exempted by the blessing ala gefen that he will recite on wine or not. Therefore, one should eat fruit in order to recite the blessing Bare Nefashos Rabos. Okay. Who created numerous living things and things. Afterwards, to exempt the beverages as well from the obligation Bracha Achrona. Let's, before we go into detail to commentary, let's understand what we're talking about here. So the situation is as follows: a person was started drinking only wine. That was his intention. He did not like casual drinking, whatever, half a glass of wine for whatever reason. So other beverages are not covered, as we said. So if he says a blessing, right, separate blessing on these beverages. So the question is, what should we do with the after blessing? As we said before, if a person established his session, whatever it means, like this drinking session, and he drank all of the beverages, first blessing, Bore Geffen is going to cover all of them, and after he finished Ala Geffen, this blessing on wine is going to cover all of the other beverages, like for after blessing. Okay, I thought somebody had questions. No problem. After blessing. So in this case, since it is a questionable situation, and you cannot say separate blessing for after, let's say he drank apple juice, for apple juice or coffee or whatever he drank, and another blessing for Geffen. it's questionable. So Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says, okay, eat something else that would require the same after blessing at these beverages, Barei Nefashos, right? And then you're good. Okay, so when you, let's say, eat an apple, say blessing after this apple, and keep in mind that I want to also include these beverages that I drank. Commentary. Obligation Brocha Achrona. If the halacha is that the beverages require its own Brocha Achrona of Barei Nefashos, he will thus be able to fulfill the requirement with the Barei Nefashos that he will recite for the fruit. So basically, a person is trying to cover all of the bases. What does it mean? He would say the blessing ala gefen after the wine, and say, look, if these beverages should be covered with this ala gefen, let them be covered. If not covered, I'm going to say the blessing Barei Nefashos after I ate this apple. So if blessing is needed for other beverages, for my apple juice or whatever for my coffee or whatever I drank, it should blessing also cover that. If not, it should not cover. That's it. I mean, my main goal is apple, and if needed, it should cover this apple juice or other beverages. So that's the solution, where you're trying to cover all of the bases. Mishnah Brura 2872 rules that in a case when he did not drink in a set manner, and he also did not have those beverages before him, when he recited the blessing on the wine, he must certainly recite a separate Brocha Achrona on the other beverages, Barei Nefashos, besides the Brocha Achrona on wine ala gefen. So Mishnah Brura, he states clearly, so if the beverages were not before him, if he did not intend to drink these beverages, for sure it's not covered. So we also have to, we also always can rely on Mishnah Brura, just follow this straightforward opinion. So whatever I said, whatever we explained what Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says, it would be according to all of the opinions when he person wants to be careful, and what if another opinion is correct. But whatever Mishnah Brura says, we can for sure follow, and no need to eat this extra apple. Just say two separate blessings, one after the wine and one after other beverages. Again, beverages were not in front of him, and he did not have intention to drink them. Okay, so let's do one more. Number 6. Any questions? Shall we continue? Okay, so as we said, and I want to repeat again, the same rule applies not only to wine. I mean, here we're talking about the wine, but also to other foods as well. Are there difference any other different cases? I don't think so. Maybe, but I cannot remember from the top of my head. At least whatever we said today is exactly the same for other foods, solid foods. Okay. Number 6. In the previous 2 Sefim, Kitzur discussed 3 cases. Number 1, when we drank wine in a set manner and had in mind to drink other beverages, in which case the bracha rishona, so the first blessing, on wine exempt the bracha or on the other beverages. Okay, so it's we said that today. So the situation is, so first scenario, when they establish this drinking session, they're going to sit in this place for 1 hour and continue drinking. So all of the beverages covered, no problem. Number 2, when he drank wine in a set manner and did not have in mind to drink other beverages, their Kitzur rules that it is questionable. So number 2, once again, when he drank wine in a set manner, so it's not in a set manner, and did not have in mind to drink other beverages, Kitzur rules that is questionable, right? As we said. So usually, as we said in the first scenario, he drank and wine and said, we're going to drink coffee and other things. Okay, no problem. In this case, in the second scenario, they did not have in mind. Number 3. When he did not drink wine in a set manner and did not have in mind to drink other beverages, in which case he must recite Bracha Rishana on the other beverages. 1 second. Number one, one more time, number 3. When he did not drink wine in a set manner, so meaning a casual, like just to have a glass of wine, and did not have in mind to drink other beverages, right? In which case he must recite Bracha Rishana for other beverages. So he just decided to drink half a glass of wine. Now he decided to drink coffee. So coffee is not covered because it was not his original intention. Okay, so it was number 3. Continue. Kitzur now addresses a law pertaining to the 4th case that has not been discussed. When one did not drink wine in a set manner, right? So it was not like session, but did have in mind to drink other beverages. So meaning I'm drinking now wine and plus I want to have some other beverages. So I guess okay. So let's see what. Okay, it's Kiddush wine. Okay, on Shabbos one recite Kiddush over wine and intends to drink whiskey or coffee afterwards. Okay, so continue. Whiskey afterwards makes sense. It is questionable if these drinks are exempt by the blessing upon the wine or not. Oh, that's the whiskey. That's I'm not sure about coffee. What is the problem with the coffee? But whiskey, okay. Okay, but still about whiskey. So people say that there's also strong opinion that people drink whiskey or all of this hard liquor, right, to whet the appetite, right? So it is in some sense it's for the purposes of the meal, not for a pure like separate enjoyment of the drink, but actually or alcohol, right? Or actually for the appetite. Okay, so according to that opinion, you don't need to say separate blessing, but according to opinion that it's only for enjoyment, so yeah, you need to say the blessing. It's very interesting. So let's say the commentary, and of course we're going to give. I'll try always give the final halacha what to do. Otherwise, like people get confused. We don't finish class and be confused. No, we want to finish class and know like different opinions, right? But still know the bottom line. In Sefer number 4, we have seen that one who drinks wine in a set manner and has in mind to drink other beverages certainly need not recite the bracha rishana upon these beverages. Okay, we said already many times. So if you have like a set session and you have in mind to drink other beverages, they cover, no problem. When one recites Kiddush over a cup of wine and is not drinking wine in a set manner, there is a halakhic doubt whether he had recite Bracha Rishana upon the other beverages. So that's okay. You see, before we got to this point, I said have in mind. Remember, I said have in mind that other beverages should be covered as well. That's what we said. Okay. So. So one more time, because of the doubt whether, so there is what is the doubt? Whether he must recite Bracha Rishana upon the other beverage, on this coffee and others. So, but usually, as we said, it's covered by bread also, if it's for the purposes of the meal. The person cannot eat meal without drinking, like a little or a lot, doesn't matter. It's a personal preference, but you must drink to swallow the food, to help swallow the food, right? So it's for the purpose of meal, right? Okay. So Mishnah Brura rules that the bracha rishona upon the wine exempt the bracha upon other beverages, even if he did not drink wine in a set manner. Okay. So he was drinking when he was making kiddush. Right, so he said, Mishnah Brura said everything is covered, all the other beverage, as long as the other beverage was before him. As we said, that's one of the requirements at the time. He asserts so and plus but if they were not before him, so that's what I said. I think it's better to have in mind. I want to include all of the beverage. What is a beverage? Is still you have a can of soda and it's still can of soda. Not a good example. Whatever this opened bottle what is it? Apple juice, right? You have refrigerator. So I want it cold. So it is refrigerator. Is it in front of me? No. But if I had the intention to drink it, so it is covered. So, but after the fact, whatever was in front of him. He asserts, however, that it is proper, in this case, that one should drink at least lolug mav, cheek full, of wine, or if the other drinks are to be exempt. This amount provides some sustenance, and therefore has significance to exempt other drinks. So now, I mean, he's going a little far, but in our class laws of Shabbos, our class laws of Kiddush, we said the question was asked how much a person should drink. A little sip is enough, not enough, like all of these beautiful things. So we said that the least amount a person must drink, the one who makes Kiddush, not everybody else, but whoever may make Kiddush is lolug mav. Lolug mav is cheek full. So they say how much cheek full. So it says approximately half of revi's. So bigger half. So it's approximately 1.7 ounces. So other people say no, it's according to a person, big person, small person. Okay, we go by average. We don't drive ourselves crazy. So 1.7 ounce, as we understand, it's not a lot. And for people who cannot tolerate wine for whatever reason, so first of all, you can do grape juice or have somebody else make kiddush. It's not necessarily you. So if somebody like cannot drink wine, for example, man cannot drink wine, he has diabetes, this and that. Okay, his wife can make kiddush, no problem. Continue. Therefore, he should specifically have an intention not to exempt those drinks with a blessing for given. So since it is questionable, so Kitzur Haloshon says, so like I'm making blessing or kiddush over the wine, but I do not want it. I do not want this blessing be extended to whiskey and coffee. But that's not what we do. But even so, he should not recite shechakol blessing upon whiskey or coffee, but rather he should recite shechakol blessing on a bit of sugar to exempt the obligation to recite the blessing upon the drinks as well. You can always count on this opinion, but in my mind, it's like you drive person crazy. So do not like what's wrong with coffee? Coffee, they say it's good for your digestive system, and you enjoy the coffee, so that's it should be included. It's part of the standard meal, right? But according to those say that this beverage extra, not part of the standard meal for whatever reason. So on whiskey they would say blessing. Oh no, they would need to say the blessing, but since there is a difference of the opinion, they say blessing on something else, which is not covered by bread, whatever, like they say like sugar cube, right? They say beet, but it's sugar cube, and keep in mind that you want to also include whiskey in your blessing. So that's like straightforward solution according to all of the opinions. But I would say you can rely on this opinion that this coffee is needed for digestion, and this whiskey actually helps the digestion. And keep in mind, like when you make it blessing on wine, that I also should, my blessing should also cover all of these other drinks, and that's it. Even in the ice cream is covered, everything is covered. If you go and buy Sephardi custom, Ashkenazi custom does not cover ice cream. You would need to make separate blessing. Okay, we can stop here. Any questions on any topic, on what we said, we did not say?
I have a question.
Say it again, please.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Gary. Okay, so let's say, for example, one eats soft cheese like cheddar or mozzarella, and then he's capable of eating meat right afterwards because it's soft cheese. Does the same rule apply to sour cream or milk or yogurt?
Yes.
And if not, why? And could you please explain the rule again? Is it only dairy first, or can it be meat and then I can go?
No, it's only dairy first. So I got your question. So let me answer. So the answer is like this. There is some lenient opinion that you can eat meat right after the dairy, or whatever you mentioned after the milk, yogurt, like all of this sour cream, soft cheese. There is no problem. So the only thing you would be required, of course, to go wash your hands. So you might have like your hands might be soiled with a cheese if you ate with your hand or something, right? Then you would need to rinse your mouth, right? And they say eat something hard. So hard meaning not hard like something like chew or something like a cookie or something, right? So and after that, yeah, you go rinse your mouth and you can eat meat. That opinion, and some people abide by the second opinion. They wait half an hour. So is it necessary? I mean, it's not strictly halacha, but many people wait half an hour, right? So you can use follow any opinion on this. So the only difference, the only exception, the only exception in the case that you brought is when you're talking about hard cheese, like Swiss cheese and other cheeses that it takes like 6 months or more to make, to curd, right? So that's totally separate issue, and we treat those cheeses as milk, as meat. In meat, and meaning that you have to wait 6 hours after this cheese in order to eat meat, right? But after meat, you have to wait 6 hours in order to drink or eat dairy. That's it. Okay. Any other questions?
There's no exception. So if I was to eat a piece of beef and rinse my mouth, I couldn't eat a piece of cheese within an hour?
No, there is no such an exception. I would say the only exception we would do for little children. So it is true. So if it's like 3-4 years old and she just say chicken, now she wants to eat pizza, so we don't insist, right? So not to do that. But for older children, like after some age, from 5-6 years old, yeah, and all the way to adults, so we don't do that. Even they're allowed, children are allowed, but adults are never allowed. Of course, there is several different customs, and it is true. I'm not sure if you're referring to that. So different communities, they adopt different customs. There is one custom to wait 4 hours, one custom to Dutch Jews. I think they say even 2 hours, and some German Jews, some not on all German towns, whatever. So they have 2 or 3 hours wait, but it's not standard. So unless you like came from that specific family that have this kosher tradition, wait 2 hours. So the majority of the Jews, the largest majority of Jews, Ashkenazim and Sephardim, we wait 6 hours. That's what it is. Stringency, of course, it is stringency. Yeah. But since it was accepted as halacha, that's what we abide by. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so if no other questions, so we'll continue with our class on Siddur. We're using ArtScroll Siddur, and we continue with the morning blessings. So I'm on the page 227. So this, of course, women do not say this blessing, so it's like, but it's very, very, very like strong words that we always have to take to heart before we pray and before we go out to the world and confront the world, this confused world. So it says, always may a person be a God-fearing in a private and in public, acknowledging the truth, speaking the truth within his heart, and arising early and proclaiming, Master of the world, and and all these beautiful things. And after that, we say on page 29 we say Shema Israel. So this Shema Israel is actually comes with the first paragraph. And if, for example, we're talking about men now, if man would be able to say, like if he has time, if it's not too late, let's put it this way, when he's going to pray, so that's he just say this whatever says in this page 29 and continue. But for example, if it's Shabbos and he would not be able to finish Shema Israel at the proper time, as we said, we send out this my Zmanim application. So check that there is the latest Shema. So of course, it does not apply to women. So a woman can say Shema whatever anytime she wants. There is no problem. But if she wants with a blessing, so she has to say in proper time, not in any time. Okay. But man has to say Shema before the time expires. And we're going, but by the time, for example, in where I live, this Shabbos, I think the latest Shema was 9:10 a.m. So in this place they start like all year around the same time. It's correct, not correct. Some shuls they adjust in order to say Shema like collectively as a congregation before the proper time. But in this place they did not adjust. Okay, it's not the biggest issue ever, but okay. So in this case, since if they start 8:45, they're never going to get to Shema by 9:10. That is practically impossible, right? So people would say all of the 3 paragraphs at home. So that's what we do. So I always say before I leave the house, like on a holiday, so on Shabbos, I always say these 3 paragraphs at home. Even if it's enough time, it does not make any difference. So just make it your habit. Okay. Otherwise, if you have enough time, just say this, whatever it says on page 29, this one paragraph and other things. Then, on page 31 starts the offering. So women usually do not say this blessing, but men do. And don't count on a shul that they're going to say this blessing, even though they pretend that they do, but they do very fast. So they would finish many pages in a matter of few minutes. Usually people don't read, they just skip. But what can you do? And these offerings, since it is oral Torah, you must read in a language that you understand. All other things, all of the prayers, all of blessing, you're not obligated to understand. If you say it in Hebrew, or in a language that you understand, that's fine. But if you say in a language that you don't understand, that's not fine. But offerings, it's oral Torah, it's a learning. So learning must be done in a language that you understand 100%. So whatever your first language is. So, and it starts with the lever, right? This Kitzur, when that Moshe made in order for Kohanim to purify their hands and feet, then taking ashes. And very interesting part on page 33. So if you see Tamid offering, so Tamid is a daily offering, and it's when we say this Tamid. So of course, when we were in temple, so in the temple, bring this offering, right? So everybody would stand. So it's actually our custom, and it says in the Siddur, some say. He said Samatoris, but the tradition is actually to stand. So if you're sick, you're weak, you this and that, of course you can sit, but it's proper to stand when you recite this page on page 33. Tamid offering. So women can say anything that they want if they have time. So, but of course it's not a priority for women, as we said. If you have time, so it's better to say Psuk de Zimra and other things, but not this. Okay. On the page 35, you have this incense. So it's, I would say just safe. It's a very big sgula, very good, like very good thing to read this incense, Ketores, right? How they will making this incense from all of the spices with a good aroma and stuff like that. So, and it says, like Zohar said, it's going to protect your day. It's going to make your day pleasant. Okay. So I mean, you have to behave like a Jew also, but in addition to that, yeah, it should be pleasant. Okay, so it's incense. Okay, then tell me. So all of this sacrifices, all of these beautiful things, I'm going to skip. So you have to read through. You can read commentaries. No problem. 1 second. Let me see. I just want to stop on this page 43. So on page 43, we have actually some additions, whatever you have on Shabbos. Right. So on Shabbos, we have this. We have two verses that describe the offering on Shabbos itself, and that's what we should say on Shabbos, and it's in a great box. In the second great box, we say offering on Rosh Chodesh. So of course there is a much longer piece, but when you have Shabbos or Rosh Chodesh, you have to add those. The advantages, and some advantages, right? I would say people who use during the week like electronic Siddur. Some people do. So this the software itself would insert all of the things that you need to add. Of course, it's not working on Shabbos, but for Rosh Chodesh, I guess on that coincide with the weekday, it's going to work very well. Okay, so we go to the Mishnah. 1 second. So this very important thing here is also on the page 49, and it's a 13th principle of learning Torah from by Rabbi Shmuel, right? So it's like how our sages derived this all of the concept, all of the halacha from the Torah, based on these 13 principles. It's very interesting. So, and then if you in the shul they say Kaddish, page 53, and then the actual services is actually like start with on page 55 on the bottom, introductory psalm, Psuki de Zimra. Okay, so it's not Psuki de Zimra itself, but at least it is an introductory psalm. It's a psalm number 30, and actually when we say this psalm, it's very interesting. Every day we say the psalm on Hanukkah, because it's psalm, a song of inauguration of the temple. So we said it as inauguration of the temple. So I guess we stop here, and the next time, BeEzrat HaShem, we're going to start directly with Psuki de Zimra. So some people ask me, and I was shocked. So I in different class, and I felt very bad because I did not say explicitly, and I felt very bad. But that's why I'm going to say Kaddish. If you pray by yourself, you don't say. You never say Kaddish by yourself, and you don't say Kedusha by yourself. That's only with the minyan. And some other things, Brocha, when we're going to get to it, I'm going to show. But Kaddish, we do not say if you pray by yourself. You men, women, does not make any difference. Only when you have 10 Jews above the age 13, you say, and they Shomer Shabbos, you say this Kaddish. And Kedusha. Okay, so we can stop here. Any questions? What we said, we did not say. Okay, no problem. So if no questions, so we stop here, and tomorrow we're going to continue BeEzrat HaShem with the Shmoneh Prakim of Rambam. Thank you very much, and good night.